Good morning and welcome to my channel English Literature. Today we'll talk about Reformation. What is Reformation? Reformation is reform the religion. And English Reformation was a series of events that led 16th century England to a new era, negating the supreme authority of the Pope and Roman Catholic Church. Till then, the religious authority and also the authority of the country, you can say the authority of the nation was the church, Roman Catholic Church. But Reformation in England just negate the monopoly and authority of church, Roman Catholic Church. English Reformation was a part of the later Protestant movement that stirred the whole Europe. So English Reformation was actually the part of Protestant movement. It was not detached from it. Now, in medieval Europe, Roman Catholic Church was holding the supreme power, and whoever spoke against its practices are heavily punished in charge of heresy. Nothing was questionable before Reformation. You are questioning the church authority or church activities, so you are a heretic and you must be punished. What was the punishment? Burning in the stake or anything heavily punishable. So, many factors worked behind the Reformation movement. Now, today we will discuss about those factors that paved the way for Reformation, particularly in England, and also the scenario, the growing scenario that was all over the Europe, the changing scenario, the Protestantism. Protest. What is protest? Means till then what was going on, something came against that, came in protest. So Protestantism and its one branch is England Reformation. Protestantism is a vast term and English Reformation is just a part of it. It is attached to that all-engulfing pan-European reformative movement, that is Protestantism. Clear? Now the social reasons. The rise of secularism and humanism in the Renaissance mind was affecting the age-old belief towards the church. The age-old belief that church is the supreme authority and human endeavor or human importance is nothing in comparison with it. It was just getting devastated. The shifting of paradigm, that from God, the new focus is go to man, human being, who created the concept of God. So the shifting of paradigm, shifting of importance from God to man. This led to the queries, the protest, the talk against the activities of church. The old feudal system was breaking down, giving birth to nationalism. Translation of Bible in vernacular language made it accessible to common people. So common people can read Bible, they can interpret it, and so church, whatever church was used to say, they can judge it is right or wrong. The invention of the printing press, it makes easier to circulate new ideas among the people. So these social factors, what is, let's check it again, rise of feudalism, rise of secularism, destruction of feudal system, translation of Bible, and the invention of printing press. These social factors greatly contributed towards the rise of reformative movements. Now we'll now have a look at the political reasons. Kings wanted to prove their supremacy over the growing autocracy of the Pope. Pope hold the supreme power, and Pope always used to poke its nose poke his nose in all the economical, political, and royal matters. Every time the kings did not like it. They did not like popes poking their nose in every matter, even the family matters, the royal family matters, and the accumulated wealth that the church gathered. King did not support that every time. In that time, church gathered huge money and riches that can be the reason of jealousy, the reason of thinking among the kings. So, when Henry VIII desired to abrogate his marriage with his first wife, Catherine, led to English Reformation. Pope just did not like Henry VIII's decision to divorce his first wife and just intervene in Henry VIII's personal matter. So Henry VIII just put an end to the Pope and became the supreme head of church, negating the autocracy of Roman Catholic Church through the act of supremacy. Now, the economic reason that I have already told, that churches were the storehouse of wealth and opulence. Everyone had to pay taxes to the church. So they resented the illegal charges and pressures upon the common people by which the church was accumulating wealth. So everyone's eyes were on the church's wealth and they did not like it. Church's monopoly over the education. Education was limited for church people and everything was directed and controlled by the church. Writing were mostly religious and they are strictly used by Latin language. So common people could not understand them. The church was against any enlightenment and education of the common people. Because if people get enlightened and people come to know about everything about Bible or other religious practices, religious issues, they can question it. They can question church authority, church practices. So they just threatened, just tackled the education system within the precincts of church and monasteries. Now, the two universities of Oxford and Cambridge, which could be a foreground of literary and intellectual discussion, remained engulfed in the orthodoxical darkness and stagnation. Due to these reasons, the growing dissatisfaction was there. During Middle Age, there was a growing hostility and dissatisfaction towards the church. Black Death, long drawn wars upgraded the common lives to utter degraded the common lives to utter poverty and hopelessness, thus fuming a deeply hostility and antagonism towards religion and government. People are getting very distressed. People are gradually degrading to a very distressed and poverty-stricken situation. The corruption of the church. At this time, Roman Catholic Christianity was at its supreme power. The church and the clergymen enjoyed unquestioned loyalty and authority. They commanded enormous wealth and property. The church precincts became the breeding ground of corruption and abuses. People gradually disillusioned by the sermons which they preached but did not follow themselves. A secular spirit started blowing over the mind of England. A growing interest towards humanism and desire to question the orthodox beliefs. So we have talked about these things also in our earlier videos where we talk about after Chaucer period and also talk about medieval period, the dark age or the preparation ground. Actually these themes recurrently come in these topics because they are the predominant themes of that time. In John Wycliffe, these questions and queries found their voice. He spoke against the monopoly of the church. So the reformative movement that take it, England's reformation that take its peak with Henry VIII at first started with John Wycliffe. John Wycliffe was the man who first protested against the monopoly and autocracy of the church. He regarded as the predecessor of Protestantism in England. He questioned the luxury and profligacy of the clergymen. And his voice gets support with his followers. They are known as Lollards. He translated Bible into vernacular language. It seemed that he translated the New Testament and his associates translated the Old Testament. Wycliffe's Bible was completed around 1384. But there is a controversy regarding whether he completed the Bible before his death or after his death. His associates completed it. Anyway, Wycliffe's Bible has tremendous impact and effect on the reformative movement. And now, like Wycliffe, there is also John Hess. He is a Czech reformer. He was also influenced by Wycliffe's writing. Sorry, that will be John Huss. It is not his, it will be John Huss. In 1415, he was burned at stake. So he is a heretic. As he spoke against the church, the church charged him with the heresy, the only thing the church can do to protect their monopoly. The invention of printing press and the translation of Bible in vernacular language made it easy to circulate new thoughts and ideas among the common people. In Northern and Central Europe, so at the same time, they are in Europe, Northern and Central Europe, Martin Luther and John Calvin was working against the papal authority and dictatorial rule of the church. That protest gave rise to Protestantism. Martin Luther, 1483 to 1586, was a German monk and theologian. He was a university lecturer in Wittenberg. This is Martin Luther, and you know that he is John Calvin. Martin Luther's followers are called Protestant. They were against the rigid and orthodox practices of the Catholic Church. In 1570, he published the 95 Theses. It is said that he nailed them at the door of the church. In these 95 Theses, he expresses his ideas and protests against the church practices. It is a protestation against the Catholic Church's religious atrocities and corrupted practices, like the sale of reprise for finance. It set a massive influence over the European mind. He translated Bible into German and wrote many pamphlets in vernacular language. Lutheranism. Actually, this Lutheranism, Anglicanism, all these are actually a branch of Reformation movement that is also known as Protestantism. So Reformation comes in various parts of the Europe in various names and ways. Lutheranism, again Anglicanism, Protestantism, whatever name you give, it is actually the pan-European reformative movement. In England, Reformation began with Henry VIII's direct conflict with the church, king versus state. It was known as Anglicanism. King Henry VIII married Catherine of Aragon. She was his sister-in-law. Actually, Catherine was married to Henry VIII's elder brother, Arthur. But when Arthur died, Henry VIII married Catherine. But Catherine has one daughter, Mary. Actually, Henry VIII wanted a male heir. And so he wanted to divorce Catherine and again remarried. But Pope did not grant it. In those days, if you want to have a divorce and again I want to marry, then you have to take the permission from Pope. Divorce was not so easy in that time. So Pope did not grant it because whatever excuse Henry VIII gave, Pope did not like it. So enraged Henry broke up with the Catholic Church in 1534. If you cannot serve me, my interest, then go ahead. It was his theory and overtook all the power through the act of supremacy, declaring himself as the supreme head of the Church of England. He divorced Catherine and married Anne Boleyn. However, Anne Boleyn gave birth to a daughter, Elizabeth, and therefore she was also executed. So Henry VIII's personal problem, his quest for a male heir, got its solution to the reformation of law against the church. And here I can find that is Henry VIII and his six wives, Catherine, Anne Boleyn, and Seymour. And these six wives, among them only Seymour can produce male heir, he is Edward. Anyway, in this way, English Reformation took place, and so with this, we will end. end our today's discussion. Bye.